Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm showing you guys how to make the Pro Zone Wars map 1v1 to 4v4. But before we start today's video, I just want to let you guys know this video was a mess. This is recorded right after, but there's so many things I did not go over that were kind of important that I will go over by next week, so you guys won't be waiting too long. Anyways, get right into it. So first, this is my pregame lobby, and the area is over here. I made it look as similar as possible. Now I have a couple things that I just added by myself, like the lights and stuff. But other than that, everything else is the same, almost, kind of. The only thing I'm not gonna go over today are the team selection billboard on the side, because I still have to figure out on how to do that. But once I do figure that out, I will mark it as a part 2. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first, what we are going to talk about is the building size. Now this took me a couple hours to make, just because I had to figure everything out. But what we're going to use are the reflective black walls. So if we're going to go into galleries, scroll down to around halfway right here, we can see both the regular black and reflective. We're going to choose the reflective, and you guys are going to get the walls. So once you guys have this, you guys are going to place the walls in, I believe, a 8x6 pattern. So for example, say we're going to start right here. We're going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then we're going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then we're going to just select it like this. Don't actually, you guys can leave that as without it. Just grab it, and we're going to go up 3 times like that, or 2 more times. So we have a height of 3. Then once you guys have this, you guys can just make the other 2 walls just like this. So this is what the thing should look like, almost. So next, what we're going to do is just break the walls, leave one like this on each side, and now once we delete that, we should have little gaps right there like this. So now we're going to go back into that same exact gallery and select the short wall with the ramp. Once we select that, we actually need to have a bottom part, so make sure you guys have this here so you guys can actually do it correctly. Okay, so now that we have that like this, we are just going to place it like that on all of the bottom empty spots, and this is so that we can have more of a bigger window like that, so it is easier to see out. Now obviously we aren't going to be seeing out, all we're going to be seeing is the barrier. Now I chose Nebula because I think it looks better than Starfield, but you guys can have it to Starfield because that's what I believe is on the actual map. Now next, what we're going to do is go into content. You guys are going to scroll down to shape, and once you guys are in shape, we're going to select, I believe, the primitive shapes. Open it, scroll down, and there should be this square right here. We're going to select that, and once we have this, we're going to just move to the side real quick and go over here. So once we place this, we're going to change this to tan, so it should look a little light brownish. And now we're going to resize it, so we're gonna just max it out real quick, so it should look something like this. And next, we're just going to go to the resize access and change it to height and shrink it to its minimum. Now my button's a little broken, so it takes a bit. I'm gonna go to keyboard and mouse real quick. So the height should be at its minimum, just like that. And this is what this here is going to be what our floor is. So we're going to go here, make sure you're on the grid snap 2, and actually this doesn't look like the biggest it can be. So, or I guess it is. So make sure it is all the way to the thing. We're gonna put this on grid snap 4 actually, and make sure it can go like inside the walls, but try to get this as even as possible, just like that. And now with this we can just select it like that and copy it and just put it like this, and there we go. So this is going to be what our floor is. Now make sure when you guys are doing your map that you don't hit anything or shoot it, because then it will break automatically and we don't want that. So next what we're going to do is have the roof. Now I just have the simple indestructible gallery floor. So what we guys would do is, instead of shape, we're going to go to game, indestructible, and right over here it's this floor right here. Once you guys select that, it should be this right here. Alright, so now that we are done with the ceiling like this, we are going to work on the barriers for this. So what we're going to do is select, or go into content, go to devices, and select the barrier device right there. In the barrier device, what you guys are going to do is, I personally like doing it like this, just so we can get it perfectly and that the barrier isn't on the wall. Because if I were to do this like this real quick, if I go to wrong one, if I go to like this, if I were in the middle, it would cover the wall right here. And with this thing right here, you guys can have it as like a little guide for that. But once you guys have that set, which this should be 8, we're gonna have this on 3, and you guys can have this to the actual starfield, but I'm gonna have it to Nebula Purple, so it should look like that. Now I'm not sure if it's just with me or it's also for you guys. Oh, never mind. The thing sometimes doesn't work, but I think that works. Just like that, all the way. We're gonna copy it again, and one last time we're gonna have it over here. Now if there's a glitch, just change one of the settings, put it back, and I think it should fix like that. Alright, so now that we were done with the base design, what we're going to do is make the items, or the loadouts. So what we're going to do real quick is grab one of these item granters so I can show you guys the settings. Now just over here, we're going to place this right here, and in the settings what you guys are going to just have is receiving players all and grant items all items. Now real quick, I'm just going to select everything. So we're just going to center it right here. You guys can see like this is the center. We have 2 on this side, 2 on this wall, 4 switches, and we have these little lights right here. Alright, so now that we have this as the loadouts, we already showed you guys that setting. So now in the switch, all we're going to do is just have sound disabled. And in the item placers, this is for some reason the most amount of settings. So right here we're gonna have allow interaction off, allow audio off, respawn time 0, can be damaged at game start no, health 10,000, allow team to damage none, visual style, this is gonna be icon. Now for the actual settings, what we're going to do is just have grant item when receiving from switch 8, which is the switch I have right here. Because there's no other switches for you guys, it'll just be switch. Now on the switch, what you guys are gonna have is on turned on, send events to the other switches that you guys are gonna have to just turn off. This should already be there once you guys do the item granter, and there's no settings right there, that's just for looks. And you guys are just gonna repeat that over and over again So for example here, grant item switch 9, which is going to be switch 2 for you guys. Same thing for the switch over here. We're just going to have on turned on, send event to the other switches to turn off. And you guys are just going to repeat that over and over again until you guys complete all your switches and item granters. Now, to prove to you guys that this actually works, real quick, to show you guys on the actual side that it works. So real quick, this is the thing, what it looks like. These are the player team selections. So I'm just gonna, if I stand in there, I'm in team 1 now. These are the loadouts. I get everything like that in the right bottom corner. For the custom health, you guys can just walk into it and you guys can see in the left corner that I am losing and gaining health. And right here is to start the game. Right here, once we do that, we can choose whatever we want. We'll do height, and right here we can see that the game starts automatically, and we have a storm circle coming in. Now, note for the health selection, you guys would have to run into it. Now, if you guys want to make it to where people can shoot in here, and do whatever, then it would work because there's also triggers, but the triggers are just for people to go up into them and then trigger them. Now we're going to do the player selection. So we're just going to select these real quick, and over here we're just going to have them do this. Okay, so right here we can see how that is. We're going to select the player counter real quick. For the player counter, the settings for this are just going to be target player count 4 and count to team 2. Now before you guys think this is just for show, it is not. Keep in mind. So they're just going to have all of these settings right there. Actually, these are kind of useless up until I figure out how to do the player counter. But for the class selector, what you guys are going to have is these settings right here. So team to switch to is 2, and size of volume is 6, and the accent color is sky blue. Now note, please do not put this to team 1 because that is the team everybody starts on. Now yes, I had changed that myself, but there's a way to get around it because the way the map is, but I just have it as 2 just in case. Now also, one thing I don't have here, which I should, is disable when receiving from player counter, which is going to be this one. So it's 3, and it's when the count succeeds. And then also make sure when you guys have enable when receiving from, the same exact player counter, but when on a player removed, so that even if there was 2 players and one gets removed, right, it's still enabled, but once it gets the max, someone gets removed, it'll be enabled once again. Now for the well, actually, yeah, that's it. So yeah, just have that for both. You guys can just copy that, paste it on this side, and the only thing that you guys are going to change is this. Make sure this is red orange or orange red, and then make sure you guys have team to switch to is 3, and everything here should be the same. Obviously I don't have this because I didn't have it in the first place, but that is it. So now I already showed you guys how the teams work over there. Now over there you guys can see that since I chose height, I was in this box and I was going that way. If I was on the other team, that means I would be on this side. Sorry, I think I was on the wrong side, but you guys get it. You guys can see the lights right there as an example. This is for team 1, team 2. Now next, what we guys are going to work on is the custom health. So real quick, what we're going to do is move these walls because I have billboards that I cannot grab. for some odd reason. I have to remove everything. So right here, I only have 6 billboards. So 3 of them are for the health, 3 are for the hearts that I have there. We're gonna make sure we grab these triggers, and in the back there are switches, and they are check marks. So make sure you guys also grab those. And we are also going to move over here, and I believe I left them. Oh yeah, they're right here. So we're going to make sure we grab. Okay, so now that I redid that, make sure you're very careful. Actually, no, because, well, in general, make sure you're very careful with when you're copying and pasting them, because you kind of will be copying and pasting them. So we're just going to copy it, and then we're gonna move over here. So right here, we are going to have the thing. Alright, so now that we actually did that, yeah, so we're just going to paste it right here. I might have it on grid snap 4, so it's right there. We're going to remove these walls as well. And right here, so in the triggers, you guys or make sure you guys just have one. You guys can copy and paste everything after. So for the first trigger, you guys are going to have visible in game off, triggered by damage on, triggered by vehicles off, triggered by sequencers off, triggered by water off, trigger VFX off, trigger sound effects off, and receive damage when invisible is take damage. And next, in the back, in the switch, make sure you guys have initial state is on, checkbox, disabled, and no. Now the reason you guys want initial state on is that because the first one is going to be 200, and the rest you guys are going to make sure that the initial state is off. Now, so right here, you guys are going to have nothing in the events. Now you guys may be thinking, well, wouldn't I need on turned on send events to the other switches to turn off like the others, other one for the weapons? Well, no, because here the switches will not work. That's the whole point of nothing being here. So if you guys were trying to ever click the switches, you guys would just have to tap them. So instead, right here, we're going to have the functions. We're going to have on turned on when receiving from the other triggers. So we're going to have on turned on when receiving from the trigger that is on it, and turn off when receiving from those other triggers. So yeah. Also, I didn't even say, make sure you guys have triggers, billboards, check marks, and yeah. But yeah, so once you guys are done with that, you guys can just copy and paste that. And now with the billboards, I'm gonna copy it real quick. So I have the 200 and I have the hearts. So this is from, so I just went to my Chrome tab and then just copied and pasted hearts. Now if you guys are on a console, I believe it is easier, because for Xbox, for my knowledge at least, you guys just click the left trigger and it shows you guys emojis after you guys click it twice, I believe. I'm not too sure about PlayStation because I do not play on one, but this is what I did for the billboard. Since I play on a PC, I just copied it and pasted emojis from my Chrome tab. And from the billboards, only settings you guys are gonna have is the justification is centered, text size is 24, white, robo, and lower right. Same thing goes here, so centered, 24, red, robo, and lower right. So once you guys have that, you guys can just copy and paste it for each one. But also, before you guys do that, make sure you guys have the class designer and class selectors. So in the settings for the class designer, since everybody starts out at class 0, I believe, this is, I think everybody starts at class 1 actually, but either way, class 1 is going to be the original settings. So at starting health percentage is going to be 100, 100, 100 and 100 for both health and shields. And for the class selector, 1, visible, volume visible in game off, visible during game off, activation audio is off, activation zone audio is off, and display VFX on activation is off. Now for the settings, you guys are just gonna make sure you guys have change player to class when receiving from. I forgot there's a meter zone device, so it's a good thing I'm actually going over this because I made this all yesterday, or majority of it yesterday, and I forgot about this. So we're gonna make sure you guys have a meter zone device as well. Now before you guys get mad at me for making a video but not completely showing you guys how to do it step by step, this took me a couple hours to do because I try to make it as similar as possible to the current map that is out right now that you guys saw in the thumbnail. But this is the easiest way for me, and honestly for me, if I were watching a video like this, I would get a tad bit like from it, but at the same time I'm still learning how to do it. So here we have the mutator zone device on player entering, and that should be it. And for the class designer, there should be nothing because it's already set. And once you guys select this, and those down there, just one set, you guys can just copy and paste it and move everything up once and lower that. So the settings down here are going to be, let me put these back. And the settings down here are going to be 200, 90, 190, and 185. Alright, so for the settings for the mutator zone device, we have 3 right here. So this is also part of the custom health as well, don't worry. So for the settings for the mutator zone devices, make sure you guys have one for each one. You guys are going to have enable non-phase none. Make sure this is on none actually. This is the most important part about the health. If you guys don't have this correctly, it's gonna go sideways. Zone width is going to be 100, depth 100, and height 100. VFX is disabled. Allow weapon fires on, because why not? And right here, it's a lot of settings, so understandable. So you guys are gonna have disable when receiving from. The other triggers that you guys aren't using, and then you guys are gonna have enable when receiving from the triggers that you are using for this. So now if you guys are wondering, how do I get that, it's not working, what you guys are going to do is click it so you guys can make it custom. And all you guys are going to do is, if you're on keyboard and mouse, click 8-5, 8-5, or if you're on an Xbox / PlayStation / Nintendo, click it and it'll give you the type menu down there, and then you guys can put that down. I tried like 5 minutes just to figure out how to do that until my brain actually worked, so don't worry, we're all struggling. Alright, so now for the start button, what you guys are going to do is, now I actually have an FNCS thing right in the middle right there. So here we're going to go back into galleries, select off game, and go into shape. And right here, the primitive shape gallery. And what we're going to do is scroll majority to the bottom, and it's going to be this little flat piece right here. Right here, what we're going to do is just have it maxed out. So right here, so we're going to make it as big as possible. Or actually not as big as possible, I forgot, it's not even supposed to be that big. I'd say about this size right here looks good. Could be smaller for you guys if you guys want. And all we're going to do is go to height and max out the height. Make sure not the size. Once we play that, make sure you guys actually have drops on if it's not to the floor already. And we're just going to go a couple to the side to apple green. Apple green. We're going to copy it, put it on top, and bang, it's just like that. Now if you guys want to have it a little smaller, go to grid snap 8, look down a tad bit, or 16, so it's a little down, so it's like to the height where you're crouching. And now we're going to go into, instead of shape, we're going to go to props, and you guys are going to look for the FNCS trophy. If you guys can't find it quick enough, or you guys think it's too slow, even though it's right here, just search it up in the little search bar up there. Now when you guys select this, don't just drag it down, because it's a gallery. You guys have to open it first, then select it, because then I'm not sure if it's just with me, but once again it does glitch. And we're just going to resize it to its decent size, like that. Grid snap 4 drops on, and like that. This is going to be our thing. Now we're going to add buttons as well to both sides. So right here, we're just going to max out the button size so it is as big as possible. We're going to drop that right there. And the settings for this are going to be time can trigger once per game, but we're just gonna have this on 0 because there's no point. And visible during game, no. Trigger sound disabled. And all we're going to do is have this copied on both sides so that it is like this. We're going to drop this actually a little tad bit. So now we're going to come back over here real quick. So now we're going to get a billboard, and you guys can select the ones that we already had placed over there. I have no idea where that just went. It went right there for some reason. I think it just went through the floor. But right here, we're just going to have it like that. The settings for this, they're going to just say start, two-sided, centered, 24, white, robo, and thick. Now next, for the buttons, what we're going to do is actually, I have the things all the way over here. So one side has a roof, one side doesn't. Don't know why. So here we have the little area. What you guys are going to go is to content, go to galleries. Instead of props, we're just gonna go in here. For me it's easier, just go BLA. You guys should get the Art Deco, and what you guys are going to select are these walls right here, I believe. And we are also going to select the flooring. So you guys can choose any flooring. I know this isn't the flooring I have here, but preferably you guys can get this one because it looks nicer and what the map actually should have instead of whatever I have. But you guys are going to make a little 3x4 area, so it's gonna be 4 width, 3 length, and 2 high. And once you guys have that, we can start this area. So this is the teleporter that the button is connected to. As you guys can see here, actually it's connected to a meter's own device, but you guys need a teleporter anyways. The settings for this are going to be group none, teleporter group target none, selected team, this is going to be the second team, visible no, visual effects no, sound effects no. And in here we're not going to have anything really, but besides the meter's own device that we have in the area over here. So just right here we can see the meter's own device I have right here. It says meter's own device 3. Right here we're just going to have the settings none, 8.5, 6.5, 3.5, 5 now, 1.5 or 150, disabled, off, and on. Now here what we're going to do is enable when you're saving from the timer device that we have up there. I will show you the settings, the button, and then over here on player entering zone, the teleporters that you guys are going to have in your area selection. So they're my first 2 teleporters I have on the map. Now for the not the teleporter timer, what you guys are going to have is just some simple settings. Duration 1:30, which is 90 seconds. Start at game start is on. Can interact is no. Make sure that's off. White and no. And then make sure you guys also have pause when receiving from the buttons, because if you guys do not have this, it will not work. Because then mid game, after 1:30, you guys are just going to be teleported over here, or sorry, once you guys started the game already, you guys are gonna be here fighting and everything, and then all of a sudden you're gonna get teleported like 500 meters to the boxes again, and say it's a full thing, you're not gonna be able to get back because these are one-time use for the round. Alright, so now that you guys have that, I will show you guys how that works. So we have this like that. We have all of that right here. We can see that the custom help still works. The buttons right here, and the teams that don't work. So right here, we're just going to click start, and right here we can see height, mid right, mid left, and low ground. All of them do work. As you guys can see, we're on the ground right here, and we are on this side with this right here. I believe if I place them, it breaks though, so yeah. Alright, so now I'm just gonna show you guys what to do for the player spawners in the main lobby. So for the player spawner, all you guys are gonna have visible game off. That's it. Nothing here, nothing else. Now on every single one, make sure you guys place class selectors and change it to the most random team in the world. Don't put it on random. Just make sure it's on the most random and high team ever, so that you won't mix it up with anything. Now also make sure you guys have volume and the visibility off. And most important thing, pre-game only is must needed, because if you guys have this during the game, somebody walks by the player spawners, they're gonna switch teams and they're not gonna realize, and they're not gonna be able to win. Alright, so no settings here obviously, and that's pretty much it for this. So you're just gonna copy and paste this 8 times, so you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And now I really would want to show you guys the spectate button, but I will put that in the part 2. If you guys do want to see how to make this yourselves, you guys can hop over to my channel and there will be a video on how to do this, or you guys can go to the top right corner of the screen and click the tag. But that's pretty much everything I could go over for the settings and everything besides this. So if you guys want to do this, you guys can also check out part 2, but it's pretty simple. Just get the lights and 1 2 3 on the smallest, pretty much, almost, and then all around, little spot, the white, and then all the way around. Now before I get hate comments for making this a horrible video, I just came back from a 7-8 month break, so give me a break. Anyway, so what you guys are gonna do, you guys are gonna select the exact same walls you guys have over here, and you guys are just gonna have it a 2 by, I'm gonna say 12. So we're just gonna go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 actually, and right here we're just gonna select like that, grab it and put this like this, and we're just gonna go about that high, and we're gonna do the same thing on the side, so it's gonna just be 2 like this, and we're going to copy and we're going to paste. There we go. So now what we're going to do is select the walls I have in there. I think they're all the same actually. Yeah, it's all the same walls. So what we're going to do is just select, actually no, we're not going to select, we're going to break like this on each side so it looks like this. Now what we're going to do is get our little area for them. Now don't actually do it in this little hill right here, because then that's stupid. But what we're going to do is just copy it like that so we can have this, and we're just going to select everything that is inside the box, and now we are just going to put it in each and every single one of those gaps like this. This is so much easier and quicker than a lot of other ways, because if you just put it in manually, like, you guys know that would take ages, and who really wants to take a decent amount of their time? You know, I'm already spending an hour on this video almost, but here, there we go. So this is what the thing is going to look like. And next what we're going to do is grab our barrier right here, and just right here we're gonna have drops on. We're gonna have that drop right there. So this is what the barrier is going to look like. Now make sure this is actually on the thing and on a flat surface like this, because as you guys can see, nothing here is sticking out and it rises like that. So the settings for the barrier are just going to be material, blue force field, width is 8 and the height is 3. One thing you guys can actually do is shrink to allow building is on, so that you guys can place a wall as you guys are waiting for the barrier to drop, because I know a lot of people like placing walls for some random reason. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Now for the timer on this, what you guys are going to do is have, I think it's just a trigger, correct? Yeah, so we're going to grab a trigger, which I have right here, and it's going to have these settings like this. So we're gonna have it trigger on the button that we have inside over here, button 1 and button 2. We're gonna have it trigger on both of those, so that once the button is clicked, it's going to trigger the barrier device and our storm to generate. Now the barrier device 10 is, well, the both barriers are that one and this one because I just copied it, but that is it. For the modified options, you guys are gonna have visible in game off, triggered by player off, triggered by vehicle off, triggered by sequencers off, triggered by water off, trigger delay is 9 seconds, trigger SFX is off, and yeah, so that's what that is. And that's pretty much it besides the storm. So let me break this down and we'll get right to it. Alright, so now that I am done with that, we have this open little area. We're going to work on the storm. So what you guys are going to need are the advanced storm controller and the advanced storm beacon. So also, if you guys are wondering what map I'm using, it is the, I think, 3rd map on the creative island. And if you guys are wondering where, it is in, from the, like, this is north, right? So say from the middle, it's just to the left on that side. There are going to be trees like this, but just break them all and then you'll have this nice little open area in between the mountains. So for the settings for the advanced storm controller, it's just going to be generate storm on game start, no. Use custom storm phases, yes. Storm phase radius, or phase 1 radius, I'm gonna shrink that to 90, but yeah. And storm sickness, I'm gonna have that on, just in case somehow there's a heal off, even though there should be a maximum of 8 slurpfish in the entire thing. So next what we're going to do is put generate storm when receiving from that trigger that we were talking about earlier, or a couple minutes ago, and that is it. Next, for the advanced storm beacon, we're going to have storm radius 50, wait time 10 seconds, or actually I'm shortening this to 7 point, or just 7. Resize time is going to be 80 seconds, and the damage level is 2. Once you guys have that, you guys are gonna find your next little area. So I think mine's right here. Yes. And for this, we're gonna have phase. This is going to be 2. Storm radius is 25. Wait time is 2. Resize time is 45 seconds, and the damage level is 5. And we're going to repeat this for all of our areas. This is our next one. Phase 3. Storm radius 10. Wait time 2. Resize time 25, and the damage level is 7. And right here, this is our second to last one. This is for just in case, like lucky. They even get here. Phase 4, storm radius 6. The wait time is 2 seconds, as always, and the resize time is 23 seconds, and the damage level is 10. Now, in some random case they survive all of them, they're going to just be dealt with the most impossible storm in the entire world, which is here, where they have to climb this entire mountain, where the only actual path is going all the way around here, which is technically in storm, all the way up here like this, but you would die to storm before you even get here. And even if you were trying to build, it is a quick circle, and either way it goes to 0 with a 15 tick. The phase is 5, 0, 2, and 1 minute and 15. And that is pretty much it. I can't really think of too much else for this, so I'm just gonna end the video here. Will be posted, everything else will be posted in part 2, or if you guys want to just search on my channel what other videos I have there that you guys might add, like the spectate button, then go ahead. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below in the comment section below, and peace.